Anyway, I'm telling Summer what happened. There's apparently this, and I don't know why you would, gravitate towards an internet site that was anonymous. I mean, that's the whole appeal of Facebook. Because I was telling Summer, about getting rid of these bullies and stuff. If they did it anonymously, and that used to be the thing, you could go on chat boards and people would just viciously attack you because they could do it anonymously, and that's the appeal of Facebook. Anyway, apparently there's some site, Kick, and I'm going to show you the guy. Anyway, it was this little 13-year-old girl that, as a child had survived a liver transplant and everything else. I mean, I think they were showing like she had like a tracheotomy, and I mean, she was fat, and I mean, they were saying she was fat and, nerdy or whatever, and met this two freshmen from, I don't know, like Virginia Tech or something, a big school. And this kid was a elite high school athlete. David Eisenhower is his name. And they had some big news story on him in high school, and I'm sure he was going to the school on a track scholarship. Because when you're elite athletes, that's what you do. And apparently they lured this girl in some long plot. She put her dresser in front of her bedroom door, took her Minions blanket and her water bottle, and crawled out the window and met these people, and they murdered her, two 18-year-olds. They just got out of high school and are at their first year of college. While going to college, they decide to, it was painful. They had this girl's parents, the 18-year-old, this was on the nightly news last night, they had seen him, because it was some big long news story, when he was in high school, because he was able to win, like the mile, the half mile, whatever it was, like maybe, that's where triathletes come from. I don't know, but whatever it was, this guy was in an elite category. So it's this big long story about him, and if you just looked at him, you would just say all-American kid, not, kid who next year, after leaving for college and getting a scholarship, is going to, meet and plot and murder. And, then they went back for the body cleanup. One of these where they went to buy cleaning supplies. Well, the body was in the trunk, and then I guess, I'm going to show you the kid. I mean, and it's, well, I'm sure it's going to be a Dateline. I mean, it's hard to understand. I mean, I think that's what makes life more difficult, than anything, is things that you're just, and maybe that's why people, become like serious, forensic psychiatrists and stuff, because they've just got such a, even then, I don't know, maybe we should go on some chat board and find out, do they even ever understand what, motivates people. Anyway.
I know, it's crazy.
So, enough with the goodness. Summer doesn't like all my murder stories. I watch too many crime shows. Anyway, so that's what's going on. It's very disappointing, very discouraging. Nothing ever happens to make me like men more, let's just put it that way. But then the girl that did it too, and then they showed her parents coming out of court, and I mean, the only thing you can describe these people is just stunned. They're stunned. What else could they be? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, no, they do. I mean, they're just in shock. I really think it would probably be a psychological condition, to be informed that your kid was my kid that's off at college, and I mean, you felt like you've done everything right. I mean, to me, if you're a parent, you get a kid in college, you've done as much as you can. I wouldn't ask any more from that. I wouldn't ask any less from anybody, Let's find out if Kimberly Goddard's got any kids. These kids better have master's degrees. If not, this chick better be adopting a kid from China. Yeah, but Stacey hit the nail on the head with that one. It's that chick that's, stuck on me. Because that cop told her to take that thing off of there. So this is who this bitch is. An entitled bitch who's got away with bullying people. And if she keeps pushing me, that Bob and Betsy thumbs up my comment. I'm fairly certain, except for I don't want to focus any energy on this chick, but they've got some information they can tell me about her and her bullying. Because this chick is an entitled snob. I can think of other words. I have a broad vocabulary. Summer doesn't like my new bad language. It offends her. Right? Oh,
Yeah.
it's just a bawling.
This is the problem.
It's just a bawling. Just want to get this tip jar and every other thing where I have to just put all this money in and everything. I told her I would do it, but it could only be pennies. Even then, she was excited. Wow, even then she was excited. It's the way I talk when the camera's not on. Oh, the real Kelly swears like a sailor. Oh, that's the bracelet I got.
It's
Oh my
really
God.
cute.
I'd give it to Stacy, but she'd be like, "Oh, it's dreadful."
Yeah. No.
Well,
not.
it's to raise money for Scrappy or something needs some kind of operation. No, it's hand painted. Remember I told you I won a bracelet? Or I won these collars too. We could give one of those collars to Nina with the spikes on. I mean, they're really only good for photographs. You should not have put your dog with a collar with spikes on.
Yeah, that sounds
Anyway, girl, I've got a ton of footage to upload. It's just, I cannot turn around. This computer is, no more memories. It's just God. Phone too. We thought we had the phone fixed. And I mean, I hate to delete every single picture, but maybe that's just who I am. I mean, a constant state of creating media. When I see pictures, old pictures of yellow lap puppies, I couldn't tell you who they are. They all look alike. So if I have pictures like that, maybe I should just, we may have to. I don't have any, we start to shoot a video. And then I just come up with like some profound thing, now that I'm on this Benadryl. I'm on I had to take Benadryl for my allergies. I told you, and then it started raining last night. Oh, well, then it started raining. This is what I didn't tell Sam after she left. Anyway, Breck sent me some quasi-apology stating that we had to get rid of Chase because, and I'm going to tell you how I'm going to make sure Breck doesn't see this video. Put it on my phone and then shove it up to him. Because Chase makes him mean like, just fine. And I don't dislike Chase at all. I love Chase, but you can't just I've just kind of decided you can't just keep being kind to people. Well, no, but that just don't have any kindness to offer you. Not that I'm really, again, I'm back to the kooky character in some novel. Stace needs to figure that one out for me, because Stace is my therapist. I'm not sure, it's not like I think I'm all Zen-like or anything, but I mean, I do think there's, if you're going to be able to honestly be good at training animals and stuff, you better be to a certain level of emotional, evolution that you're, able to figure out. I mean, honestly, I think if you could figure out 50-60% of what was going on in the world, I honestly think that you'd be doing good. If you even had a clue about, am I wrong, Summer?
No.
And we get YouTube comments and stuff from countries. I tell Summer all the time, I have never heard of these places. Not that I was somebody that got good grades in geography, but I mean, I am somewhat aware of current events. And I still realize no matter what, I mean, there was that one person, they lived wherever it was like in these mountains or whatever, some like outlying, I don't know, like kind of volcanic. It was like some Krakatoa or something out in the middle of the ocean. So help me God. Yeah, it was some Krakatoa. I'm going to spend the weekend watching my Mount Everest documentaries. It's all it makes me appreciate my life. And then if it's cold out, oh my God, I should go around and get the stuff to make the chili. I won't be able to give you any of that.
It's a hot air balloon
You can't do those. They make the video drag.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. What a bummer.
We need to complain.
Waste of space.
Where's the feedback? I'm terrible, though. I mean, I am. I mean, honestly, I think I do. Once I paid off my house, I just started living a different, more pajama-laden lifestyle. What's my pajamas? You say my normal clothes. Take my normal clothes and add sweatpants to the bottom. That's the pajamas. So basically this top with sweatpants, that's pajamas. Anyway, it's my work. It's my life's work. And I don't know, and John Morgan, I mean, he's this, and I mean, I shouldn't say anything because he's done a lot of good. But he says, if you don't get up with a purpose in the morning, I really don't know what the point is. I wouldn't know. I realize everything I ever did in my life brought me to the point I'm at. To somehow go off the reservation with these e-collar people, well, I don't know. Only simply because there isn't anybody else to do it. I have got, if you think there's anybody else that's saying, these trainers in their 20s and 30s, and you tell me whether I'm right, Stacey, and if this is a good analogy. These dog trainers in their 20s and 30s, if they want to make a living doing this, need to start getting 5 years ahead of this tool. If I told you NASCAR drivers are still driving the same car they were driving 5 years ago, you would say, no. No. Let me show you all the adaptations. Let me show you what they've learned. Let me show you how purpose-driven their behavior is to make it go faster and faster and faster, better and faster. Now, if you had to ask me, what is these e-collar people's manifest destiny? Let me think here. Remember, I can only intellectually understand 50 to 60% of what goes on in this world. So, one is to sell their ridiculous product at any cost. And Greg really does try. I mean, I shouldn't be mean to Greg at all, but I mean, I have to. He's single-handedly promoted the worst e-collar training on the planet. If you said to me, show me the worst e-collar training, I would go right to Greg's page. I would say, I'm not sure this is the worst, but I no, I would.
I know.
I would say, I'm not sure this is the worst, but I can assure you this is really poor work. Well, no, if I don't see food, any e-collar trainer that's not using food is not doing it right. If you're a companion dog trainer, you guys in your 20s and 30s need to be thinking 5 years ahead of the tool we have now. If you don't do that, you're going to be using the same tool 5 years from now. I like that, don't you? Mm-hmm. I'm already seeing applications for Greg's, and now there's no turning back. Once you've gotten the adjustable pager, there is no turning back. You've got to, now I'm trying to think, and this would be going back in time, but I'm going to tell you what I liked about the original dog trot, what I liked and what I didn't like about them. The original 500p, and I think I've actually got an old video because one of my clients, one of these people that, American pickers would probably love to go there because this guy saves everything. Oh, this thing was like, we could sell it on eBay in like new condition. But it had a button on the side, and you could either slide it all the way up, or maybe the middle button was just the pager. It had three functions. Let me put it this way. It had 4 functions. It had the pager, it had the continuous, it had the nick, and it had what I initially used, which maybe was why I liked the pager initially, was you could run the stimulus and the pager concurrent. And they don't have that anymore. You could run the stimulus and the pager concurrent. So you could drop a piano on the head of a pit bull if you needed to and put a big impact on your pager. You know what I mean? I mean, you could have just the pager too. The problem was, and this is what I told him, and I wasn't the only one, and they changed it immediately, was people would forget to slide the button to the right thing, and then the dog would go, work! And I'd say, that wasn't the pager. This is how I'd say it. That was, no, wait, let me reenact it. Yeah, no, my head was already shaking before I was saying, that wasn't the pager. And they would say, yes, it was. I go, no, it wasn't. So I told, Jim and Phyllis, because that's when Jim and Phyllis were still with Dog Track. and they made more changes then than they did any other time. And then after that, they came out with 1000 NP, which was a Nick Pager collar. I mean, this thing was like huge, though. Oh, there's a picture of it on the board. It was huge. If you said it was futuristic, I would say, yeah, if you were from 1940, yeah, it was futuristic if you were 1940. But it was a good general public collar. It held a wide margin for error. And if you said collars that are being used by the public should bear a wide margin for error, I would say absolutely. And if they said, what's the best way to do that? I would say, not put a continuous on it. Help these people understand that if you've got any skill at all, which you don't, but you can somehow fumble through some methodology, being realistic, you can fumble through some kind of methodology where you're using the nick in a continuous fashion, pop, pop, pop. If you had to, that son gonna bust after your neighbor cat, you pop, pop, pop. You got half a wit, you can do that. Holding down the continuous, Greg was describing some mortifying story where some man had, just like something, it was like that Scrappy, but it was like some 8-year-old Jack Russell, where they were bending this thing with the continuous. Oh, it was horrifying. While it was chasing a car, they were applying the methodology for the first time when the unwanted behavior was occurring. And speaking from somebody who's operating from level expert with electronic collars, that's not what you want to do. I'll tell you what you should do. Not that. Oh, and he was telling me and Mark the story. It was, I was looking at him like, Greg training a dog. I don't know if you saw that Blue video, but, the look on my face. I don't know if Mark got a recording of that. Anyway, Mark already got rid of Greg's collar and got the new 280 because he saw we had it. Mark's our super fan. I'll tell you who our super fans are: Mark, Carol, Stacy's our fan friend. And Stacy doesn't like the super fan label, but to me, a super fan is really just a friend by, what's that? Oh, that's a washer. By default, anyway, because you would not even be able to achieve that kind of super fan level. Unless you, had that, what is that?
Oh, just Skylar playing with his toys.
Skylar's been appearing in a lot of videos. He's been good. He does good. He's old. I don't know how old he is. Those dogs are not supposed to live. He doesn't have any eyes.
He's living.
Oh, Joshua and Jessica are coming over. Mac and Luna are coming for a visit. Joshua asked me, I think it was Joshua, or maybe it was my dad. My parents are coming too. I'm in denial about that, but I think it was Joshua though, because he was like, is he blind? Joshua, he doesn't have any eyes.
They're just not open.
Well, no, they are open. He doesn't have any eyes. He's got eyes, but they're all white. So, that can't really be eyes, can it? I could make a Clay Skylar, though, couldn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could easily make a Clay Skylar. He just doesn't need any pupils, anything. It's just, it'd be hard to mix the clay to get the blue dots, though. Anyway, girls, so that's the big long episode. We're just stalling around because it's so cold outside. I had to walk dogs in pouring rain. So I get all the outside dogs walked. Yeah, now I'm drenched. And I come inside. So now I still got to walk the inside dogs, which is Remy, Bumpers, Nachos, and the Great Dane, who are 4 little monsters, who all jump around me. And I say things like, you can't push, Mama. They don't care. And so now I'm waiting for it to stop raining. Well, I'll tell you, it doesn't stop raining. I had to take all of them out in the rain. No, it didn't. I had to take them out there in the rain. I had to walk out there, because if you think I'm just going to put them outside the door, you know how they are, Summer. Well, you know what they would do. No, they don't want to stay outside. That's what people need to understand. I don't know, I'm just painfully aware. Every time I see somebody petting a dog in a training context,
Yeah.
I almost can't take it. I almost can't stop myself from saying anything. Sure, I'm alienating a lot of people with that. Other people agree with me, though. Mark does, Kurt does.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sure Godfrey does too. Anyway, we need to reach out to Godfrey. If we go to, we could invite Godfrey. You'd have to go too, though. He's have to be like the chaperone. It would have to be like on,
You want a cookie? Chocolate chip.
no,
It's from yesterday though, in Subway.
I don't like Subway's cookies. They don't put the dark brown sugar in there. In fact, what's their number? I'm going to call there right now. All right, girl, we're going to go out there and just try to do like a little artistic Remy video. Bye, girl. I have nothing scheduled this weekend. I'm telling Breck, we can't go out. Especially since Breck doesn't like the garlic anymore.
It's pretty lax weekend.
Oh, he just suddenly dropped. There's more of a reason. I think maybe, that's Chase's hangout. They seem to be quite familiar with the place, didn't they?
I think
So that's why we can't go there anymore. What if we ran into
his
Chase?
friends, the waitresses are there.
He didn't seem to know that girl.
At Alot.
No, he doesn't know any of them. Why would you say that?
Rocco's out, so.
There was that one girl he liked, but I mean, then she just ran off
She
with
has a
him.
boyfriend with the.
Well, no, then she just ran off with Rocco's friend,
Right, yeah.
who was a surfer with dreads. I mean, I was like, ugh. I don't know, after that, I was like, forget about her. I mean, we should have known about Rocco, because he was like, dated that one bartender up there. And he was like, oh, she's good to drink a six-pack on the beach. I mean,
And then go home and get away.
we'll edit that part out. I mean, that was the implication. I mean, it certainly wasn't,
This is who everything is.
this is what I do when that boxer's bad, because it's Steph. Oh, I think that's it out there now.
Oh, Joe.
I just go, they understand that.
Doing check on him like kids.
That's what I did to Dave that one time when he was holding my camera when Chuck was singing. I handed him my camera. Why am I going to be bringing this up? Just because I don't know. I mean, I made me feel bad when he saw that. Not that I'm even intending to have that reaction. Sometimes it's the only right reaction. I'm still reeling from the reaction of those people, though. I'm going to find that video and show you. Stacy's probably watches the nightly news. Please tell me if you do, Stace, because it's very hard to understand it. I don't know, whether our culture is, maybe somehow breeding this, and it's there, we just don't see it. It's emerging, our culture, our culture of video games, because I'm sure if I said right now, are there any video games where I can be this thing that like stabs?
Oh, yeah. All of them.
There are?
Yeah. All of them.
'Cause I think
Shooting
that's-
and stabbing and.
Yeah, I
bowling,
think,
mean,
um,
that's video games are.
I think that's what happened to her. And then, the girl, it's not like these people can say this girl isn't involved because, I mean, these detectives in their 40s, 50s, 60s, I mean, how quick do you think, when they have cases where they can't shake down an 18-year-old, I'm worried. They can shake these people, I mean, come on. That's like you getting a 6-month-old lab in here. Or that's like getting Reggie and saying, no, not Reggie. Natalie's watching, no, not Reggie. That bulldog. Her pretzel. I found this old pretzel video. She's like 6 months old, and you can't train that thing. So yeah, they shake these people down real quick. So what this girl says is in the trunk of her car is this girl's minion blanket and the cleaning supplies. So, you're going to have a real good lawyer to get out of that one. And I mean, the victim is sympathetic anyway, but she already survived. The mother was inconsolable. I mean, that's why I was so upset that one time when that girl, and I did feel really, really bad, but I mean, maybe I am jaded, but like when that dog Daisy's ear got bit off, and she was inconsolable. I mean, I was just, again, it was back to, I didn't even understand that because this woman was inconsolable. If you said, show me inconsolable, I'd go, so help me God, I mean, I would go right to that. I mean, it was visceral. Yeah. You know, if you're not able, and maybe, you know, and that's what they say, these people aren't able to feel emotion. I guess there is such a thing as just being able to view it flatline, and maybe that's what's wrong with me. Things hit me too viscerally. That's why I always overreact in things. But I mean, if you said, show me inconsolable, this child had already survived a liver transplant. Can you imagine what you go through with a child that needs a liver transplant? I mean, how probably close to death and everything else they come. I'll tell you how close to death. Close enough that if you don't get the liver transplant, you die. And so this child has already survived that. And I mean, a cute little girl, you know, and I mean, they were saying she was like kind of chunky or whatever. I mean, kids are at 13. I mean, it's I mean, you're going to get bullied. I mean, especially if you're a sickly kid. I mean, I was bullied terribly as a kid. I mean, any kids. It's just anything. You know, so this, and I think the kid had like a tracheotomy. You know, maybe for some feeding tube, or you know, I don't, you know, and I don't have any medical knowledge as far as that, but they were showing it in the picture. So maybe it would be if you had a liver transplant, you'd have to have a feeding tube installed in. I mean, it would be in your neck. It wouldn't be in your mouth, right? Or would it be right into your stomach? Anyway, I don't know. I mean, it was just very, very sad. And the mother, I mean, I don't think she was anybody with any education. And I don't know whether that contributes to these kids becoming victims. But I mean, she was inconsolable. I mean, she couldn't even do the news conference. How could she? Oh, well, she tried. I mean, she tried. Oh, she tried. No, she tried. No, she couldn't do it. I mean, if they do the Dateline, they're not going to be able to get Keith Morrison. They're not going to be able to get Josh Mankiewicz. The only person, they're not going to be able to get Stone Phillips. The only people, and that's why women are better, and Stacy will agree with me, the only people that would be able to interview this woman, there's only two people on the planet that I can think of. No. Ann Curry or Katie Couric. Those are, if you want to model empathy, I think as a news person, it's them. Ann Curry is so, and it's not even politically correct, she's so emotionally correct as a human being. I would aspire to evolve. Maybe you evolve to that level as a human being. I would aspire, no, I mean, I need to watch more of her, and I haven't had NBC in so damn long. Look, I'll tell you what Ann Curry says, not so damn long. I'm going to start watching it. I'm going to start channeling Ann Curry. I know, she's an amazing human being. Anyway, Summer's like, who cares? She doesn't like anything to do with the news. Well, but she's just got she's just got the, well, I'll show you after we get off, because if we start doing this thing will start freezing up. She just has the right reaction to any, she's able to, Stacy will know what I'm talking about. And I don't even want to say mirror the emotion. I mean, she's, you know, like Tyra Banks says, smize with your eyes. I mean, Ann Curry has such an ability to have empathy with her eyes that's how it makes these people able to tell her these things. Or that would be the only person that would be able, that without this woman breaking down, you know what I mean? Because she would be able to look, because you would see that in her eyes and you would be able to continue. It's I don't know. It's got to be a state of evolution in human beings. That's the only person I think. I'm going to show Summer this woman. Anyway, girl, I hope this wasn't too sad. On an up note, we're going to make, she's going to get so mad. This is how I'll get a text from Stacy like right away. We're going to make cupcakes. Smile.